Test. What's up, y'all? It's Adam, and I'm gonna tell you everything that I wished I knew when I was applying to college. So you should watch this video if you're a rising senior and you're writing applications and you don't want to get cooked. Like me. I was pulling a bunch of late-nighters and consistently getting sick because of that. It made my whole experience so much worse, especially the couple of days before the application. That was not good. So yeah, let's get started. So I've been getting a lot of requests to do like a advice video for college apps. For some context, I applied in the 2024-2025 admission cycle. Got into some small liberal arts schools, in the US. So I'm gonna share everything that I did during my application process and what I think got me into all of these top schools. Hopefully this isn't some generic video that you find on YouTube, like telling you, oh, GPA, SAT score, because I feel like at the end of the day that those stuff don't really matter as much as your essays, which to an admission officer is the most important thing, since that's really the only thing that they get to know you personally. So I think you should really put a lot of work into your essays.
Bro, what are you talking about?
So here's some real specific and useful advice I think that you can use when you're writing your essays. Okay, so I think the number one point that I want to make is you want to come into college applications with the right mindset. And I say this because I came into the college application process guns blazing and thinking that I was getting accepted into every single school that I applied to. Well, you can see how that turned out in my decision reaction video. Also, don't go in thinking that you're not as good as other applicants applying to the same schools, because that'll just destroy your ego and affect how you approach your essays. And chances are you're a much more competent person than the version of you that you have in your mind. But also conversely, don't come into the application process thinking that you're the best applicant and you deserve to be accepted everywhere you apply, because then you'll just end up thinking that you don't need to work as much on your essays, which I saw in some of my friends when they were applying. Never think that your stats will carry you through the application. I mean, unless you're a math Olympiad, then hey, maybe you'll get into MIT, I don't know. Also, another thing is that you don't want to brag about yourself in your essays. And I mean this as not come across as like a egotistical, self-absorbed person that only highlights your strengths, because honestly, I don't think that kind of person exists, And plus, that'll just make it look very sus. I think it's totally fine to reveal your vulnerable side. In fact, you should come across as an imperfect applicant, because college admission officers want to see that you're a dynamic person and that you have space to grow in their campus. Okay, I don't really have a solid script right now. I don't really plan my videos, but I do have concepts of a plan, so I'm gonna just start freestyling from now on. I'll just edit out the bad stuff and leave in the good stuff. Number two, I would say try to be a unique applicant. And when I applied, I didn't really have any sort of like regional or national recognition in any particular field. I wasn't like a science Olympiad or like a debate champion or something like that. And I also didn't do a single like summer internship, which all my friends were trying to do. I never even applied to those. And yeah, I think there's like a whole culture online that everything you see is like people getting internships, and that's like very prestigious, and you think that's kind of the way you have to do to get into college. But I don't think that's true. That's just like the type of people you see online. Those people like to post the most. Yeah, the fact is that you don't really need to have like some crazy award or that stuff. In fact, I took a very indie path, and it was pretty self-paved. I just spent my summers and all my free time developing all my passions in engineering, film, and music. Yeah, so I just took all my free time watching YouTube tutorials, how to learn 3D printing, or how to do music production, how to make YouTube videos like this one. It's more about taking advantage of all the opportunities that you could have and making sure that you've milked all those opportunities. I think that's the most important thing. And yeah, like make sure that you're actually doing projects that you're passionate about. And for example, making YouTube videos, I still do this. I'm still doing it right now because I love doing it. And yeah, I'll leave it on that note. If you're interested in learning about what I did specifically, spam the comments with stats and EC video, and maybe I'll make one if enough of you are interested. Yeah, but anyways, I think trying to be a unique applicant is one of the easiest things that I'll be covering in this video, because you're already unique because the combination of all your interests add up to be a very specific like niche in like whatever you're interested in. Like for example, if you're interested in comp sci and I don't know, biology, then you can make like an app or something that tracks white blood cells or something. I don't know comp sci or biology. I'm making stuff up right now. You get the point. Yeah, just try to find a unique collection of skill sets that make you who you are, and you'll come across in your application as that unique applicant. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take off my sweater. It's getting kind of hot. Yeah, like what I was saying, essays, they kind of make or break your application. When I was editing my essays, I was being very deliberate about the word choice and how I approach my different passions. There are days where I spend like an entire day just trimming down a 300 word essay into the 250 word limit. I spend a lot of time trying to make sure that every word within the essay makes the whole essay more engaging and more fun to read. And here's a little trick that I used that really helped me, and basically you take every word in your essay, including all the does and the buts and the ands, and you rank them on a scale of 1 to 10, like how useful that the word is in your essay. For example, 10 is very crucial. It plays a very important part in your essay, and 1 is like it could be just a filler word or is not necessary in your essay. And if you rank every word, then you can just systematically get rid of the words at the bottom of your list with the lowest rankings. Yeah, just make sure the essay makes sense after you cut it down like that, because sometimes it can become less coherent. It's a very painstakingly slow process, but I promise it's worth it, because you'll get a way clearer sense of what you want in your essay and what you don't want in your essay, and it also helps to cut down the word limit too. The third thing is remembering to always edit and revise your essays. I can't stress this enough, because I see a lot of my friends just kind of write the first draft and then just like call it a day. And it makes sense, because it seems very tempting to just write up like 1 or 2 versions. But the more you start to edit your essays, the more you start to understand what you want and what the actual story is that you want to tell in the essay. Trust me, it'll be way better than the original version that you write. Also, don't be afraid to write over the word limit. In fact, I would encourage you to write over the word limit, and in fact just word vomit your essay at the beginning. If it's 500 words limit, come up with at least 1,000 words, and then you'll start to find that when you're trimming it down, a lot of it are just filler words. And if you didn't word vomit, you'd think that they're actually important, but when you have so much information and you have to condense it, it really forces you to put the most core and fundamental parts of your essay into the final draft. And last but not least, the most important thing is taking care of yourself during those couple of months. I know there are a lot of pressure around you. If you're watching this as a rising senior, you might think that everything you've done in life comes down to, the moment with the whole college applications. Well, first of all, the most successful people didn't even go to college or finish college. And what really matters is that you're a passionate person and you're driven in whatever field that you are involved in. Just don't be like me, because I was just sick and constantly burnt out and having mental breakdowns from August all the way to December. I was pulling a bunch of late-nighters and consistently getting sick because of that. It made my whole experience so much worse, especially the couple of days before the application where I had to finish up all my applications. That was not good. I just want to tell you. Like at one point I just got so burnt out, I just couldn't come up with anything to write about. I just became like brain dead, you know? Yeah, so just like don't be like me. And if you're writing a lot of college applications, just make sure to go touch some grass once in a while, just to keep your sanity. It'll really help recharge your essay writing battery, and who knows, maybe you'll come back with new essay ideas and more stuff to write about. Okay, this video is getting kind of long. I just wanted to put this out there because a lot of you guys have been asking it, and this is definitely advice that I wish I had when I was applying. I have a lot of advice. If you ever if you want more advice, you should comment advice please, and I'll make a part 2 to this video. Yeah, video's getting kind of long. I need to go pee. You should go subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.